Welcome. My name is Rich. This is Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning. And as you may notice, I have a new pair of Fey Blades that I crafted a couple of days ago. I also crafted a lovely new pair of boots, but I do not meet the level requirements for the things I have made yet. It will be another couple of levels before I am actually capable of wearing the Silver Knight boots that I built. So I'm just about to head into Orieta's tomb. There isn't much else in this area for me to do. I will need to return here. Visit the locksmith Tarian. Why is that? Why is there... Possibly because the person I need to talk to is in there, I guess. There's a quest over here to plant reagents. I think that's I picked that up after listening to a lore stone. I've discovered the Shining Labyrinth, but I don't have any quests to go in there. I guess I'll also head over to this place once I'm done here. But yes, I'm looking for refugees inside of Orieta's tomb. Not quite sure how this fits inside the thing that I just entered, and also I'm not sure how something this long, like this deep, fits in the cliff face that I was just standing on, or top of. Because yes, I was in a graveyard, and I wasn't quite at the edge of the cliff, but I feel certain that by the point I walked to here, I will have gotten, well, maybe a little bit further. I feel like certainly by this point I will have gotten to the edge of the cliff. So unless this is actually like twisted around so that you're journeying in a different direction. Ooh. Expect grave of Private Lemelan. Here lies the mistress of Gallifore Fields, for all who stood before her fell. She is Private Lemelan of the Alpha Army. The lives she saved that day will be lived in her name. And okay, these are all devotional plinths to the people who are buried here. Here lies our courageous brother-in-arms, Lieutenant Gancher of the Alpha Army. May he live on through his deeds in Tywilly. And we'll just nick some stuff from the tomb. Oh, nice. Why would people leave small bags of money inside graves? Well, all of that bladey stuff sounds deeply unfun. Wonder what trip's it going. This has obviously got some kind of blade flipping out across it. Star Fizzle, nice. And here again, I'm sure that is a blade coming up. probably going to be opening this door or doing something with the chest over there, maybe? Not sure. I wonder what this is on the floor. I wonder what the purpose of this section is. Other than, I guess, containing loose skeletons that they didn't feel like putting in sarcophagi. Oh, star thistle down here for some reason. Big 8-point geometric star in a circle, just marked on the floor for no reason. Okay. Hello. What's up?
I knew someone would come. They all said we were as good as dead, but I held out hope. I don't know why. Never had any reason to hope before. So what's your story? Grave robber? Treasure hunter? Or like us, a refugee in search of shelter? The name fits. We didn't have an easy life when we farmed the fields below Culm, but it was nothing like this. If the bandits don't get you, the starvation will.
There's a dude back there who's doing sit-ups and he's grunting over the dialogue. Hey, welcome, Mahawk Man. This game has competing aesthetics by design. Yeah.
She's from the camp on the hill leading into a mare. She's a liar and a thief. Twice I've caught her sneaking into our tents to steal food. Worse than a boggart.
That's not great. Isn't Edward the person I met outside, or was it Lyria Turon? I don't remember. A lot of buildings are ancient places that humans and elves merely live in. Yeah.
Omer Vogard was Culm's primary hunter, but it wasn't long after the Tuatha attacked that his hands gave out. Now he can't even hold a bow without shaking. I took over his job, and his heart. I tend to stalk my prey as opposed to shoot it. Something about looking it in the eye before it dies. There's respect in that.
Some features seem to evoke the essence of the people who built the place, but the furniture doesn't match that because it's new and a recent addition. Fair.
He is my beloved. Yes, there is a difference in our ages, but I believe that Omer's experiences have given him a lust for life, one to rival a man with half his years. I don't know much about Oriator, but what they taught in the village schoolhouse, before it was burned down. He was a war hero. Galafor Fields, I'd gather.
This tomb seems to have been built relatively recently, like in the last 10 years, given that the Oriator died at Galafor Fields, which is an event or a location that's referenced by people talking about the war that's going on at the moment against the Tuatha. And that's only been going on for the last 10 years, it seems. It's a bit unclear, to be honest. A couple of people have said, like, it's been going on for decades, but most of the time people say it's been going on for about 10 years. But still, like, this tomb isn't ancient. It would still only be like 20 or 30 years, even at the longest estimates, given that Oriator died in an event during the war that's going on at the moment, the Tuatha War, and maybe the war with the Tuatha is like the 100 Years' War. I don't think so.
We probably could have sought refuge in Rathir, but there is no way that Dokkalfar would have allowed us to stay. But if we don't belong there, where do we belong?
Ebsen searches periodically. It doesn't seem like like that's the case. No one talks about stuff going back any further. Like, you would think that culturally it would be more significant and mentioned more if it were, even if it were going through ebb and flow. I'm pretty sure that Gadflow only came to power or took power relatively recently, and he's the reason that the Tuatha are at war in the first place.
You did? Well, here I was about to start complaining about them. We've been trapped down here for days, unable to get past those blades, and you simply walk in and disable them, just like that. I'm impressed.
Well, there was a lever outside, you see.
The person you're really going to want to talk to is Thoma. He moved mountains to find me. Come along now. The others are waiting back at camp. Bye.
Oh, hello. It doesn't seem as though the traps reactivated. They don't seem to have yet. But coming in and then trying to leave triggers the Fair Gorta. So I'm just going to break things whilst I wait for them to get past all the traps. And then I'm going to try and open this chest, because I suspect that opening the chest resets the traps. But maybe not. True, perhaps I'm reading into it a bit too hard. It's not helped by the fact that the game isn't very clear on exactly how long the war has been going on for, but it definitely doesn't seem like it's more than a few decades at the longest. Freeman. I'll just fast travel back. That was a bit shit. True, if you see a vague backstory, try to fill in the gaps, even if the writers didn't. Yeah. Certainly I try to.
Thank the gods.
Ha! I knew I could count on you to bring her back. I could see it in your eyes. A spark of recognition. You have a love too. Or did at one point, you know. There is no thanks worthy of this deed. But you were entitled to something. I was a hunter once. Those days are finished. Yours, it seems, are just beginning.
As far as I know, no, I don't have a love. I mean, maybe I did before I was reborn, but I don't have any memories from back then, so... I think you're projecting onto me.
Bye.
But that's fine. I don't really care. Infected longbow, add to junk. Sorry. I appreciate you giving me your bow, but you. I don't actually
Hi there.
want it. I don't use bows. Let's head over here, I guess. Although, I suppose I could go into the Shining Labyrinth first. Just to see what's there. If there are any quest objectives. If I get a quest at some point that takes me in there. Oh, I've been spotted. Any quest objectives that I might be required to complete will be set. That's just how the game goes. To say nothing of enemies respawning when you leave and re-enter a zone anyway. Did that just eat my map? I mean, it makes sense. It was a magic Barghest. But it's weird to think that it would deplete my mana rather than my health. And the only reason I noticed it because I was trying to use lunge to zip past. Really annoying when there's a lot of them because of their tendency to do staggered lunge pasts, lunge attacks that carry them past you. And unless you keep moving, it can be quite difficult to avoid them all. Arcane Barghests, yeah, they do that. Who would have thought from the name? I played some of the new I don't remember what it's called, the Magic the Gathering RPG that's on played by Cryptic and Perfect World Entertainment, which makes me a little bit leery of it because of my experiences with Champions Online. Magic Legends, that's the one. It's quite good. I'd like it if the combat was a little bit tighter. It feels a little bit sort of janky. Like if it were a mechanism, it would feel like the moving parts were a bit sticky. Like if they stick a little bit and you have to kind of force them. Like maybe that's not a very helpful comparison, but it's the way that my mind thinks. I was playing Geomancer because I quite like red. I've played a bit of Magic the Gathering, the card game. Not very good at it, in all honesty. I liked building decks, and every deck that I built, I lost with. Pretty reliably. But once I get past level 2, which I'm at the moment, of 30 levels, once I get past level 2, I'll experiment with building more than just red. We're not having much here. And Essen War Priests have an annoying AoE element to their attacks. And like, several attacks involve raising the axe above his head, and I'm not very good at telling the difference between one that's an AoE and one that's a line AoE, like a caster-based AoE. It's an MMO combat. Can't be as fluid as single-player games since the single-player doesn't have network latency. The previous beta I played around a lot with red, green, white combos. Yeah, red, green, white are my favourite preferred colours. I don't think that it's really true that an MMO has to have slightly janky combat. I mean, I feel like the combat in DCUO was pretty was better, was more reactive. Like, it felt like it responded better than combat in Magic Legends. It's still a good experience. I'm going to play some more of it. I'll probably stream it at some point. Not quite sure when. But yeah, I'd just like it if the combat was, I guess, a little bit tighter. I don't know how they would go about doing that. It would be helpful if the art for the icons of the powers that you get was a little bit more... I realise that they use art from the cards, which on the one hand is cool, but on the other hand it's not actually that helpful for, like... Oh, maybe I just need to spend more time playing the game, because it's only been like a few hours I've put into it. But like... I feel like... I feel like the art isn't clear enough about what exactly the power effect will be. And I found myself using powers that weren't quite as useful in the situation. Like, if I thought it was a player-based AoE, I'd use it in a bunch of enemies, and it would turn out that actually it was a cone or a line attack. So in the current game, I'm playing blue because I hadn't tried that before. It's a licensed work of fiction. Yeah. I have noticed that apparently you can only have, well, as a geomancer playing red, starting out playing red, I could only have one Earth Golem out at a time. Like, in combat, I could have one at the beginning of combat going into the fight, and then I could summon another, and they'd both be around for a little while. But the first of them that I had would disappear, die very, very quickly after the second one had been summoned. Like, and I don't think that it was because it was getting damaged down and killed. It seemed like I could only have the one out, and I'm not sure why that would be. Like, it seems like other players could have, like, the black player could have multiple zombies out at once. Yeah, in this game you need to have multiple creature spells to have multiple creatures. Oh, okay. Oh, come on! Ancilla family lockbox. That might be a quest objective. Some creature spells actually summon multiple things. Oh, okay. Remember this. Remember from the previous beta that there is a black card that summons 3 zombies. Ah, okay. That would be why then. I'm sure that it mentioned you could have up to 4, like, or no, it didn't mention, but like when I was assigning the function of buttons in key mapping, I found that you have up to 4 spell buttons basically, and so far I've only got 2 slots, I guess, above my action bar or like my health bar. So I assume that as I level up past, you know, level 2, I will unlock more spells at once, I guess, like my hand size, if I'm relating it to the card game. In the game there's a spell that summons 13 2/2 tokens. Wow, that's a lot. I'm not... well, I haven't really been keeping up with Magic the Gathering, the card game. That doesn't sound like a spell I'm familiar with, but that doesn't really mean much. It sounds pretty powerful. It sounds like it either only summons 13 of them conditionally, or it's super expensive. Oh, hello, wolves. Oh, they're absolutely coming running, aren't they? I also kind of felt like it sucked that when you were using mouse click to do the very basic attack you can do in the game, to just like swing your fists as a geomancer, your character is frozen in place. A little bit annoying, given that you're not clicking the mouse to tell your character to go places, so you're just using WASD. So quite why your character needed to be frozen in place whilst attacking, I don't know, but this game has a limit of 8 cards, I think, in your deck. In the tutorial, you don't start out with 8 cards, so you have to use only those you have. Hold on, did I leave Discord open? I think I did. Oh, hey. Hidden door. Apologies for people watching in the future, or even now, if I receive messages on Discord, it will give the little noise and possibly confuse you if you're a regular user of Discord. So I apologize for that. If only I could get lockpicking lawyers help with picking these locks. One is binding. 2 is set. Oh, hey, there was a potion in that I don't want. Huh, why have I still got an Etin vial? Well, if I've got Master Healing and Mana Potions, I don't think that I need Greater anymore, do I? Well, I've only got 1 Master Mana Potion. So let's keep these, I guess, but I don't need those. But yeah, with Magic Legends, I'm still, like I said, I've gotten to level 2. I'm still very much just getting used to the game, just starting out. Maybe after playing for another 5 or 10 hours, I won't care very much about the feel of the combat. But comparing it with this and with DCUO, I feel like the combat's kind of a little bit janky. And not even just those 2 examples, like even a game like City of Heroes, which I've been playing recently as well. So it's a very different feel to the combat, but there are no gaps between activations, and you know exactly what you're doing, what you're going to get with with any given attack. Some of the attacks, some of the spells, I mean, in Magic Legends, sometimes you would like choose the direction that the attack would be going in, and then as soon as you are done pressing the button, it will go off. Sometimes you need to click to make it go off, and it's never very clear to me, or it has not yet become very clear to me, which is which. And so I have a tendency to like end up clicking when I don't actually need to for some spells, and sometimes I do need to, and sometimes they'll go off. I don't know, it's just... I just don't feel like the combat is quite as good as it could be. Oops. It's not quite as polished as I would like it. And I don't know how much they can control that now that they're in beta. I don't know how much... Because, I mean, I don't really know anything about the mechanics of building a game, so... Ooh, hey. Heal petal. So, like... I don't know if they're too far into the development process to be able to... Let's go to Aiton to sell some things. Damn it! Don't want to kill the chicken! Oops.
Hello.
Yeah, with Magic
I've been
Legends I feel
watching
like
Christopher drink himself in going back to the ward.
if they can figure out a way... Do I want to keep... Oh yes, I want to keep those because they're the ones that I made. Right. And I'll keep those just so that I can break them down,
It's
I
the
guess.
best idea he's ever had. Always open.
I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was saying something about the combat in Magic Legends, but... If possible, and if there's enough weight to it, then it would be nice if they could do something about enough community weight behind the request to do something to tighten up combat, then that would be nice. But I'm sure it's not going to break the game, and if...
Yes?
if it doesn't get altered at all, I'm sure that I'll be able to get used to the game as it is at the moment in terms of combat. There's more than enough there to keep me coming back, even though I'm not 100% fond of the way that the combat feels. Little bit worried about how it seems to be going with premium stuff. Like they seem to have an awful lot of premium purchase stuff. Now, true, you can trade a currency that you earn in-game for Zen, which is the premium currency. And therefore, I suppose you can save up Zen, and maybe even use that Zen you earn in Magic Legends in other games that Perfect World Entertainment do. So, like, maybe if I earn a lot of Zen in... Is this the right way? Yes, it is. Oh, no, hold on. I want to go up here, don't I? That's the slightly quicker way. And some Edelweiss. Maybe I can. Oh, hey. An ambush.
Boss. This one.
No armbands. That's annoying. But yeah, there seems to be an awful lot of stuff in Magic Legends that they want you to buy. There's a lot of unlockable... It felt a lot like mobile games that I play. I play a couple of basically AFK games that you just press buttons on occasionally on mobile and then leave for the rest of the day and then come back and play press a few more buttons and then leave that for the day and then come back the next day. Where if you're not subscribed, you get one kind of like basic reward as time progresses and as you progress through the game. But if you're subscribed, if you're a premium member, then you get that and a whole bunch of other stuff that's even better at each interval. And I don't know what the word for describing that is. I'm sure that that's got a term, but mobile games use it a lot, particularly free-to-play mobile games. Not Mobile Legends. Magic Legends does the same. They're obviously putting lots and lots of treats out there for you to spend your money on. And I have no desire to do that, and I'm just kind of a little bit leery about the game ending up being pay to win or partially pay to win.
As we gaze down from our high hill and feel the last warm touch of the sun on our backs, we wonder, is this the end of our endless day? What hope have we in these changing seasons when winter comes and does not abate? We watch, cold and dying, at what may be our final sunset.
It's a sobering slightly morbid, probably fairly recent Lawstone. And that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Kind of flickery with the shadow and the light. What are we looking for here? Is that a pile of rocks? Yes, it is. There we go. 400 gold. Uploaded the first of my Kingdoms of Amalur streams onto YouTube today, so I'm catching up. There's still like 10 of them, but I'm getting there. It's good. This will be a discoverable location, like a fast travel target.
Our
surely?
camp is small, but it's
Apparently not.
Staring.
That's weird. You would think.
Don't look at me.
Oh right. This place up here is going to be the discoverable location. Okay. There we go.
What is it now? I've told you before and I'll tell you again. We will leave when there is someplace else for us to go. Tell your friends in Emer that as long as the Tuatha burn our homes, we'll keep searching for a place to settle.
You haven't told me before. I'm new here. Hi, how's it going? I'm sorry that you're having a tough time of it.
I was raised in Colm and spent my summers fishing the Tawili coast. And when the war came, I threw my lot in with General Tolera. May she forgive herself. They claimed to be low on supplies, to be unable to spare even the smallest charity. But I know better. I have seen. Unlike us, they have everything they need, and more.
I don't remember whether that's the case or not. I feel like Emer actually are on the edge of being able to survive and keep themselves going as it is. I don't remember.
Here we are safe from the Fae, all of them. We are simple people. We don't wish to be pawns in the games of immortals, summer or winter. As for Emer, the villagers have made it very clear that we're not welcome. There would be more understanding if they had endured our hardships. I saw them with my own eyes, and I know Tuatha killed my fair share in the war. I am Elrod Edmund, leader of this pathetic band of ragmen. We come from the farms of the Twilly coast. Go there now, and you will find only ruin. The Tuatha raiding parties terrorized us where we were safest. At home. There are spies among us, my friend, and they must be rooted out. Will you help me?
I don't know that there is.
Kill them. What else? I would do it myself, but I must lead my people. They have no hope left to speak of. My strength is all they have.
That seems a bit melodramatic.
Fine. Then we shall be discreet. There are 3 whom I suspect of scouting for the Tuatha. They are paid in gold. There is no record of their actions. Onred Amphast is posing as a military recruiter, while Froma and Nag are both residents of our camps in the plain. Be careful. Consider all of them well connected. Be swift. Be merciless. Onred lurks in the shade of the Forsaken Plain mostly. Try Amer, or the West Phalanx. Froma and Nag are likely in one of the refugee camps to the east.
How do you know this?
Good luck.
What's your evidence? Are you just paranoid?
Hello there.
Ooh, this is a lot of herbs.
Welcome.
Maybe it's worth breaking those daggers down for parts.
Passing through?
What's in here? Agony home. This is quite small, isn't it? It's an unusual, or certainly a new, different layout of house that we haven't seen before. Ooh, the well. It's a hidden cache. There we go. Hold on a minute. The house we just went into didn't have a second floor, but the outside does. I mean, in terms of footprint, it fit more closely to the shape of the outside. Hello. Anchor Edmure, who's just ignoring me. That's fair enough, I suppose. Hidden stashes often have junk in them, so rarely do they have good stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to get reagents. That's fine. But... oh, was he a merchant? Oops. But yeah, like, just random white and even green loot that's a bit below what I have at the moment isn't really... like, I don't care about Cavalier Staff. I guess I'll just... I mean, it's stuff you can sell, I guess, but... oh. Quest dude. Plant reagent. There we go. This is breath. Harvested. Nice. What quest do you have for me?
You resemble someone of authority. 2 rogues, likely freemen, have stolen a precious item from me. Pay attention! And to think my taxes pay your salary.
What? No, they don't. I don't have a salary, you weirdo. I'm not a guard. I'm an adventurer.
I am W. Mundus, owner of Oddities and Curios by W. Mundus. I have lived in the Mare village for nearly 1 year. I detest it. And don't get me started on the Alpha.
I won't. W. E. Mundus, owner of Oddities and Curios by W. E. Mundus. Reminds me of... oh, what was it? Clive Barker's Jericho by Clive Barker. What a knobhead.
One must keep an eye on every possession since the freemen began to terrorize the plain. Some dare to enter the village even with the militia outside. It was an impressive gem sold to me on the road to Haxi. Quite the curio. It is called the Eye of Aman, a magical token shaped by the Fae Aman the Clever. I've yet to research it thoroughly, but it is certainly valuable.
Sounds like something I can slot into a weapon.
Disgusting, sweaty, pathetic things. Do not misunderstand me. I have sympathy for the wretched, but only if they're far from my doorstep.
Doesn't sound like you have much sympathy at all. You're a bit superfluous to the world, aren't you?
This village was once a bustling crossroads for traders and dealers in the arcane. However, in recent years, it has become a barren outpost for the ignorant. You must be joking. I did some business with Azo before the war through correspondence. He was a terrible miser and a cheat. There were 2 of them, swarthy brutes, hairy, filthy. I shudder at the thought. The beasts ransacked my antiquities collection and stole several notable items. I am a gentleman, and if you can recover my amulet, I will make it worth your time and effort. I glimpsed them leaving through the back window as they made for the woods.
I mean, yeah, maybe I could ask, but I'm the sort that will just do stuff to help people, even if they're knobheads, but... I mean, I'm curious about what he'll say, but it makes me come off as more as a knobhead, and I don't really want to become adjacent to him, so...
Excellent. I will stay here, secure, and wait for your return. I've told you everything, fool. Farewell,
Well, fuck you,
stranger.
then. That's not how you talk to someone you want to help you. Help you get stuff back. Although, I wonder what that actually says. This book catalogues the magical items of the Fae. Fae, as creatures of magic, have created a host of artifacts imbued with their essences. We provide this book as an index of those magical items, both for those interested in pursuing these treasures as well as those wishing to be entertained. The book is divided into 3 parts, covering trinkets of relatively minor magical power, relics of powerful magic, and finally, cursed items. Where knowledge of the item is scant or limited, we try our best to direct the reader to other works on the subject. This book serves as the foundation for the Encyclopedia Magica, wherein we list the entirety of magical items known to all peoples of Amalur. One observation that could be made upon reading this text is that there are only superficial differences between some of the items we categorize as of a lesser nature and those of a greater one. The differences may appear slight to the layman's eye, however, in our experiences, the actual use of the item is closer to the broader category it resides in than not. There is a specific aspect of greater or lesser magical nature that separates these items. Where the effects of the item are unknown, we have estimated the nature of the item to the best of our abilities. In all cases, the magic of the Fae is unpredictable force. We encourage those who would seek this magic to do so with the utmost caution. Finally, we highly recommend avoiding the cursed artifacts at all cost. Usually, a curse placed upon an item will go into effect immediately upon receiving it. Most of them will imperil the very lives of any non-Fey victim, and almost all of them involve an intricate and complicated manner of removing the curse. Some of the fabled items found within the lesser or greater sections may in fact be cursed. Where possible, we have recorded the method of purifying the item or purging the curse from oneself. Cool. Better hope that the curse doesn't render you incapable of removing the curse from yourself. Tome of Artifacts 4. Ah. The Eye of a Man is a cursed Fey artifact, said to bring an affliction of the elements upon its owner. It is a bright red jewel and shines even in the darkest of places. It is approximately the size of an eye, hence its name. It exudes a slight warmth, and those in possession of the jewel have claimed they were irresistibly drawn to it. Indeed, some of the magic in this artifact may be enchanting the wearer, as is custom with many cursed items. According to popular myth, the Eye of a Man was placed in the Fey Hollow known as Sill by a man as a cruel trick. Knowing that mortals would be drawn to the promise of riches, he crafted the gem to be remarkably brilliant. Then he cursed the gem so that one could never get rid of it unless it was willingly taken from its owner. Finally, he set upon it a curse of elemental magic, such that fire, ice, and lightning would bring indescribable pain to any who wear the eye, or so the rumours proclaim. It is said that there is a way to cleanse the gem of its curse by bringing it back to the altar found in Sill. It is a dangerous journey, but we imagine it is one well worth the risk if the effects of the gem's curse are real. Now that's very interesting. I wonder why he wants it back. I wonder why only this armoire in the whole building counts as stealing. And just the peasant's shoes. Like, I could have off with the shirt, and he wouldn't care. And I have had off with several of the other items. But he only cares about his shoes, apparently. If you're an alchemist, you can just make curse removal potions. Also true. You must go on this long quest. You what, sorry? Oh, never mind. So the Eye of a Man is a cursed... apparently a cursed item. So did he not notice that? Because apparently, according to the first volume, you get the curse as soon as you receive the item. So did he not notice that he was vulnerable to elements as soon as he received it? Could it be that he hired someone to get the gem, remove it from his person to lift the curse? Trying to figure out if he's got some kind of gotcha ability. Haha, fool, you took the gem from me, so that means I don't have the curse anymore. Break that down, although what does it do? 50% chance to steal 15 health per hit. No, I can't be bothered with that. Do I have anything to salvage? Incinerating daggers. Hurrah! Master Flamed Hilt, that's quite good.
Just give me a straight answer. Is the General still in the Cradle of Summer?
She is for as much good as it'll do her. But the cards don't lie. She'll never get that door open. Fate says it's so.
Yes. Well, then I suppose we'll just have to change fate, won't we?
If only there was someone around that could do that. Bloodthirst is a pretty fun effect. Doesn't seem like 15%. So hold on. Junk. 15% chance to steal 15 health per hit. Doesn't feel like all that much. Like if it was a higher chance or a higher amount, I would maybe go for it. But given my amount of health, it doesn't seem like it's that much worth it.
I am on official business. Unless you've been sent by the Alpha army, we have no reason to speak.
%chance every time you hit anyone. Yeah, but it's not very much health in the grand scheme of things, and I don't tend to lose health very much.
I was a soldier once, in the years before the Crystal War. I saw many die at Gallifore Fields. You could say I learned my lesson. Never heard of such a fellow. I'm here as a recruiter for the Alpha army. My superiors believe there's still fresh blood to be wrung from the Forsaken Plain. They're wrong, of course. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not one of them. War is harsh on many people in many ways. Those of us who can avoid the suffering should.
It's like 1 in 7. Is it? I mean, fair enough. I don't know, maybe I'll keep it then. Break it down, see if I can... But it depends what component it is, and whether I would rather have... Because, like... If it gives me a component that is a similar component to, like, an elemental damage booster, I would rather have an elemental damage boost to my weapons than health draining, but just because of personal preference. But I mean, I guess I'll break it down and see what happens.
Ask anyone and you'll get the same answer. They're animals. They care nothing for the mortal races. We're just dust to them. Enough! Keep your voice down. You're right. I'm a scoundrel and a coward. But you would have done the same thing.
No, I wouldn't.
Give me a chance to make it right. You have my word, as a father. My informing days are over. Good riddance.
I wonder whether I can pickpocket him. No, he's completely aware of me. I'd need to...
Yes?
I mean, also... Just in case this goes completely pear-shaped. Nothing to steal. Okay, never mind then.
Hello.
That was a bit pointless. I wonder how he's playing the pipe whilst also playing the lute with no free hands. Like, is he just blowing really hard through his nose? Or maybe he's stuck it in some other orifice and is blowing through it.
Need a hand?
I'm pretty sure that the tune that's being played on the pipe is the theme of the game. Like, if you look up the Kingdoms of Amalur theme music, pretty sure it sounds like that. Certainly some music in the game sounds like that.
Hello, I'm Orca Tetran, village healer. You're new in Amer. I never forget a face. Are you with the refugees?
Nope.
I'm sure you've heard about how Amer is the birthplace of modern herbalism, a cradle of enchanted flora, a haven for the wildest reagents. Me, I don't care about that. I like the people. We get all sorts of interesting folk in here, like Oddwald the Scribe, like you. Nope, I'm never bored. Not in Amer.
You say the same song is used in all the inns. It isn't. There's like 3 or 4 different songs. Certainly there's 3, because I've heard 3 different songs. This is a new one. Some of the inns have a second musician with a flute. Yep. Some of them, but not this one. And no, the song is not always the same.
I've never met one so obsessed. He goes on and on about his life's work, as if other mortals will find his study of the Fae as fascinating as he does. You can usually find him holed up in his house across the way, but sometimes he spends time here with us in the tavern. They are a sorry caravan. I, for one, believe their stories. Look what the Tuatha have done across the sea, and what they intend to do if they arrive here. Gods forbid. What would stop them from sending warriors to hunt us down by our very hearths? The Tuatha will not rest until they break us. That is why we must never let them. Bye.
Hello there.
Stay safe.
Who's this? Oh, a mere citizen who's just sort of wobbling about in front of the bar.
Avoid the gates.
Brittagny. Why is he relevant?
May I help you? There is very little of interest to know about me. I'm a simple scholar. I'm here for the serenity, the quiet. It took much gold to secure a permanent residence here, and for reassurances that there would be few questions.
Why do I think he's Azo Raymond? Didn't I find a grave for Azo?
They are poor creatures. I pity them, as should you. Where did you hear that name? The man you speak of is dead, and all of his wealth has died with him. I told you, I don't know the man. Enough. You're persistent, I understand. What do you want? I want no part of that old life. Not the gold, not the reputation, not the worry. I made that false grave because I was tired of people hounding me for salvation. Wish to know where my money is? I'll tell you. It's gone. All gone. All I have left are my family rings. I just want to be left alone. To start over. Can't you appreciate that? Please, show me some mercy.
I don't know why I care. I mean, he seems to have a fairly poor reputation, but he doesn't seem to have been, like, a war criminal or something. Looks like life drain ability probably is a hilt, which is where most bonus magic damage is. Yeah, to be honest, I'd rather have bonus magical damage of some elemental type than a life drain.
Thank you. It was never my intent to hurt anyone, or to deny the needy what they deserve. But I am one man, and all I have left is for my future generations. Take this ring. I don't like to owe anyone, not anymore. He was my gardener. When the Tuatha killed him, I decided to take his name. It was the only thing he had that belonged to him. Perhaps he lives on now because of me. Goodbye.
Hello there.
Oh, Dalen Shear, who's the circle on the minimap. Oh, she's a trainer.
It's about
about time. Someone new. I was beginning to think I'd turned to dust here at this counter alone, uninteresting and not having spoken to another soul in days. Han likes to keep me up here because down there I fill his ears with talk. Like that's a bad thing. This village is a graveyard sometimes. Talk would do it some good. Molly Janik at your service. I teach alchemy. What can be taught, that is. Most of it is a gift. Either you have it or you don't.
Or you put points into it. So, okay, that's what she teaches.
It's big business around here. The magic of the Forsaken Plane has cooked up some mighty strange ingredients, that's for sure. You'll find some pretty weird stuff. My father was an alchemist. He trained me and my sister Lila to carry on his legacy. Lila hates people. Spends most of her time in the Cradle of Summer, alone. Dull. I hate to say it, but the refugees are the most excitement we've seen here in weeks. You'd think there'd be more drama with a war on, but not in Emir. Here we are between the Cradle of Summer and Rathia, and I spend my days watching the clouds drift by.
I don't know, I'd say you're closer to the Cradle of Summer than Rathia.
What do you want to know? If you're going to spend time with Lila, you might want to prepare yourself beforehand. She's, unique. Lila has spent far too long in the Cradle of Summer with the Fae and their magic. All of that exposure has, how do I put this, altered her perspective. She's strange, all right. There, I said it. Han is an idiot. He's the only one who's imposed this ban on refugees in the village. To what end? They don't want trouble. Only food, water, a warm bed. Idiot.
Ah, maybe I can talk
Don't
to
be
Han
a stranger.
and stop him from being a knobhead.
Hello.
Stop playing.
Please, make yourself comfortable. We don't see too many travelers in Emir these days. Not with that forest of tents growing out front. Relax and partake of what our small hamlet has to offer.
He looks like a creeper as well.
This is the birthplace of alchemy in the Feylands. These plains have been soaked in the deepest magic. Every leaf, every stem, every root holds secrets. If you want to know more about our history and about the fascinating flora and fauna of the Forsaken Plain, speak to Molly upstairs. She's a sweetie. No problem. We just fixed one up all nice and tidy. You're welcome to it. Well, you know where to go if you need a place to rest.
Yeah, my home in Canarok.
Refugees from the coast of Twili. They claim their village was burned by Tuatha, but I know better.
Really?
The Tuatha here in the realm of the Summer Court? I think not.
Well, I think
they began
so.
arriving several weeks ago, marching from Galafor with their belongings dragged behind them. We've given them all we can, but we only have so much. Be well.
No, no option to try and convince him to let the refugees in or help them in some way. No, thanks, game. Did nice of you
Isn't
there.
it a glorious day, as if Helios himself warms us with a smile? To what do I owe this courtesy? I only have a few moments to spare. The Godstorm awaits my return, and it doesn't like to wait.
I mean, they recycle voice actors a bunch in the game. There's a bunch of different characters who have the same voice, but he sounds like he's voiced a few of the Fae. I want to say Hallam the White, but I could be wrong.
I have never laid my gaze upon it. Such a thing would not be proper. I am a dustling, a child of death. The Cradle of Summer must not be sullied by my taint.
Then don't drag your taint around in it then. Just visit for a look.
It is a good place to find the peace I need to complete my work, although the refugees have certainly slowed progress. I am not one for the cacophony of any kind. I don't know how the Fae in the Cradle of Summer can stand having us so near. Our mortal din is far too distracting even for me.
Your perspective on what the Fae like and don't like and care about is skewed by your mortality. If you actually talked to the Fae, you'd find that mostly they don't really care.
I was born in the city of Rathia, an orphan of the Wending. One day, I stumbled upon the Scholia Arcana library, and I found new life in the ancient books. My advice to them would be to gain some perspective. Villages grow and burn. There is only one event that is worth our attention, and that is the Godstorm.
Right.
Of course, I don't typically prefer the company of others. Take the leader of these refugees, for example. Master Elrod Edmund. Gruff, coarse, not a pleasantry in sight.
How compassionate of you. You'll be surprised at how little time for pleasantries a person has if they've lost everything that they have in the world. Like, just consider, if you had a bunch of something that you really, really valued, like in your case perhaps books, and then someone came along and burnt all those books and drove you from your home, you might feel a little differently about the perspective of the refugees. Just putting that out there. Maybe something to consider. You fuck nugget.
Why, the Godstorm is the greatest event that our fragile world has ever witnessed. It was a battle, a conflict between Fae. They call it the Withering War. That's why I relocated to Emer to complete my book, the definitive work on the subject. The village is nice enough, quiet, although the new arrivals give me no peace. Sadly, I lack the last few resources needed to tell the full story. The works of the famous scribes Ewald, Dalston, Callus, and Wildfrold. Gone. I was so close.
Maybe you need some perspective on it.
It is not in the Fae's nature to fight. The summer and winter courts have existed in harmony since the beginning of time. Leave it to us mortals to ruin a good thing. 500 years ago, the Summer King Issa and the Winter Lord On broke from that pattern and fought a battle here, on this very plain. The land carries the scars. They are lost to the ages, I'm afraid. Minds such as Ewald and Callus are rare. I suspect that their works have been spread across the plains. Ethene's wisdom be yours. Oh, it's you.
I've just got a quest to help him find those things to complete his life's work, but I don't know that I care very much about his life's work, because he seems like a bit of a shit person.
Thank you for coming all this way. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounds as if General Talera is still here, in exile. For all but losing the fortress of Melsenshire. Long ago, Talera led our forces, but then the Tuatha produced a foe she could not best. Her forces barely survived the retreat out of Cluracan. Many blamed her for the loss, to have built up hopes so high, only to have them topple. That was Talera's crime, and she has paid for it, day after day.
It's not her fault that their hopes got built to the point where a setback topples them. That's not on her.
You're as quick as ever. Talera is in the Cradle of Summer, banished from the battlefields of Melsenshire until she can atone for her past. According to the Fate Weaver here, she seeks an artifact from Ural Tusk that might break the siege and aid our forces. But she cannot do so alone, for poor Talera is fated never to succeed. That is where you can help.
Yep, I'm the Fate Breaker. I'm dead good, me.
In a hidden valley, northwest of the plains of Erethel, the ruins of Ural Tusk lie undisturbed, as they have for many centuries. What Talera wants there is beyond me, but I trust her, even if it goes against my better judgment.
I don't know. I don't have any examples of your judgment one way or the other, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Do you have good judgment? Earl Tusk. I think Talera is after a big spear, isn't she?
Last I heard, General Talera was somewhere in northern Arethel, searching for a way to turn the tide of the war. I think she took a squad to Earl Tusk. You should be just what the general's looking for.
Just remembered I picked up a... Let's add that to... Oh, I can't. That's weird. Picked up a skill book. The shear line isn't the culprit. It's a necessary evil for the pin tumbler lock, despite what they say in Odessa. Neither is master keying any more to blame than a blacksmith is for a sword breaking when used as a hammer. The true problem, as Crinius points out, are the bittings. Without a finer method of shaping keys, we're stuck with crude assortments of pins, unable to employ the complexity and intricacy needed to foil would-be thieves. A practiced, steady hand will defeat even the most sophisticated lock. Of course, working with such imprecise tools is a handicap for any craftsperson, but such is our plight. While we labour like brutes, the underhanded also struggle with their lockpicks. Most lockpicks will break under the slightest of duress. Some are reinforced to allow leeway, and I've even heard mention of a lockpick shaped from prismere. I know little of the material, but it is rumoured to be able to force even the strongest pin configuration. If this is the case, then it may be time to rethink the lock completely. Any fool who, with this sort of lockpick, could open a masterfully crafted lock, perhaps even a magically reinforced one. Worry about the tool Bosnian Bill and I made. It's another minor reference that almost no one will get.
Yes?
It's a lockpicking lawyer. So, I've got lots of things to do now. Tuatha Spy, recover lost scrolls. Talk to Idwa, I guess. I could go and do that. Meet with General Talera. That's going to be over in Cradle of Summer at Ural Tusk. So I need to go up to do that. And I think that this actually is a gateway like this is, and like there's one here, but you can't really see it. It's not showed on the map, but I think that there's like a zone gateway there. Oh, like here as well. Yeah. I don't think that that's connected as something that you can walk.
Avoid the gates.
What gates? There. Well, I mean,
keep your eyes on your possessions.
There are no gates around this town, but I guess there are gates in the region that he could be referring to, I suppose.
Hello. I'm just about ready to give up. Tell me, have you heard any news of Britt Hagney or his final resting place?
Why is she after Britt Hagney?
Lost to the Forsaken Plain, he is. Oh well, it was certainly worth the search. Can't even imagine the kind of new life those rings would have given me. It's better not to think about. Thanks for your help. Here's a little something for your trouble. I'll be seeing you around.
There aren't any rings. I mean, I've got one, but... And I would have given it to her if I'd had the opportunity. On the other hand, who was it that said... Someone over in the refugee camp here said she was a thief who rifles through people's things when they're asleep.
Hello there.
I mean, so do I, but... I at least pretend to have slightly more moral
Lovely day, isn't it?
character than that. Also, I'm working to save the world. What's she doing? Well, one usage of gate is like town gate, which isn't always a gate in the sense of being a door, but more of an entryway. I guess. What's he doing?
Do you have it?
Leaning over and bleeding.
Help me! Bandits stole my amulet, the Eye of Amun, and I must get it back. Please.
Just help me. Get my amulet back. Don't worry about me bleeding or anything. Get my amulet.
I knew the gem was cursed. I overheard Faye speak of it, and of the great trickster Amun. But the curse is worth the agony. Imagine the gold. Don't insult me. You know damn well who I am, and what I've done. I'm surprised Immundus's wrinkled old head had enough sense left to tell you. They should be ashamed of themselves. With all they have, the least they can do is spare a little extra for the dying. We're not bad people, just unlucky. Haven't you heard? The Tuatha have moved raiding parties inland. They've sacked homes all along the coast. Farms burned, whole families killed. Those of us that have survived are moving west, hoping the Summer Fae will provide a safe haven. The last hope for the hopeless.
That's a lot of blood. I realize that it's like an effect that's big enough and obvious enough to see from a distance when you're playing. Like, at a distance when you're over the shoulder and looking at a character that's kind of far away from you. But the fact that it's still present in a conversation scene like this and still the same size, like that's an enormous amount of blood to be losing out of your neck. And he's perfectly fine.
Not professional bandits, exactly, but sly enough to cut a living out of this dried and dusty wasteland. You never know where they're going to strike next.
This is bleed to death in 5 minutes. Yeah. This is ridiculous. You would pass out.
So, old Immundus knows what happened. Well, I don't have the amulet. Gelt does. He took it from me. In exchange, he left his dagger in my shoulder. He went north.
Bristlethorn. Wow, that looks like it's been carved. That must be what's his face was talking about when he said that this place was still bears the scars of the fight between the kings of Summer and Winter. You come at me for, you knobhead. I was just standing there. Belligerent asshole. Oh wow, that's another bit that's been fucking had a circle carved out of it. 2 of them, really. And up there. I want to go back to one of the 2 entrances into Emir. I think that is also a place that's been carved out of the rock. Ooh, dragon's eyes severely damaged. Everything else seems fine. Amazing. The Barghest will ignore the antelope, but really, really wants a bite out of me. Oh yeah, you can see that's been a sort of circle carved out of it. So yeah, there we go. Thought so. I thought as I was moving through it that was kind of a shaped bit of rock, and yeah, that's definitely like had a bunch of the stone carved out of it by something, by some huge magical effect, presumably. Oh, this reminds me, sell pieces of gear are based on current HP of the item. Prices of the gear. Oh, right. I see. I think, for the most part, the gear I pick up is full... yeah, it's all full repair level, and I guess... sometimes when I take off gear, I sell it, but rather than breaking it down. But it's never, like, particularly badly damaged, because I do go through and repair stuff periodically. Like just then, when I noticed that the dragon's eyes needed repairing, I went through and, you know, evaluated, like, does something that's on 18 of 21 item health need repairing right now? And I didn't feel like it did. It only really matters if you use it, then sell it. Yeah, fair enough.
The Great Cycle brought powerful magic to Amalur. The arcane veil begat King Issa's reign, and all things in balance, also its destruction. The seasons passed, the summer wilted into autumn, and Lord Ohm culled his strength. King Issa's sway receded as does the shade at noon. The Feylands rested from their sprouting, and a haze of indolence silenced the woods. When the winter moon waned, it began. A terrible thunder rolled across the darkened plains of Erethel.
Oops. I just want local map, I don't want to fast travel. Okay. Ah, there's a pile of rocks down there that I missed. Okay. Probably going to get noticed by these guys at some point. What is their patrol? Oh well, he's noticed me already. Oh, the other one's lost interest. Your friends aren't interested in joining you. I mean, I will go and kill them, but I'll do it all quietly. from stealth. It's kind of interesting how his fall over stunned animation involves presenting his arse to me. Doesn't seem like a good tactical decision. There we go. Nice. For some reason, sometimes that doesn't work, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it might be because sometimes the targets are slightly aware of me. But I haven't really been able to tell. Ooh, blacksmith craft. I'll have that. And let's just junk them. Continue this charge attack even after I was completely out of the way. And made a swing as well. At nothing. That just makes me feel like he's a bit of a clown. It'd be more impressive if there was still like some kind of huge crater. Like, don't get me wrong, the fact that there are these spikes of rock with like stuff carved out, like circles carved out of them, is impressive, but like, I don't know, maybe there is a crater, it's just not that obvious if you're at like at ground level. If only I could get higher up to see down, but I can't really.
Taxing through swamp and ice, desert and wood, was the exodus from frozen lands. Upon each hill the priestess sang, and closer to Erethel they came. The people walked in groups, the future houses of Rathir, planning the lives of gold and silver, music and laughter. Lush fields and streams tilling the first makers of the bread and food we eat today. The mages that awaited Lyria's touch now reap her power.
Cool. It's annoying having the voice lines playing. Oh yeah, I could have looked at the world map as well, I guess. Or, oh yeah, to see see if there's any evidence of the fight on the world map. It doesn't really seem like it. Like, there is nothing about this area that looks like, oh yeah, that's a crater. I mean, it doesn't really have very good topography. It's kind of shaded a bit to show that there's a rise or fall in the ground, but it doesn't really seem like it's all that good at. Oh yeah, this insurmountable obstacle that is a very slight rise of old root. Can't get over that. It's impossible. Ooh, Liang Shi. There was some loot dropped from just that Barghest. Nice. I'll have gold coins and soft Scrabble. Do I care very much about Greater Alchemist's art? I don't think so. Pile of rocks. What's this? Mulrain. I think I've heard reference to Mulrain before. There's a couple of Lianshis dining here. Tried sneaking up on well, both of them, I guess. Oh well, I'm doing this now. Didn't really take much longer. Nor was it particularly more difficult. Oh, I've got a quest to go in there. Recover lost scrolls. Okay, cool. I'll just come over to this pile of rocks, I think. Yeah, it's a pile of rocks. There's a tent. Wonder who's hanging out here. Callus. These scribbled notes belong to the famous historian Callus and are a partial account of the only battle ever waged between the summer and winter courts of the Fae. In the famous Godstorm, or Withering War, Lord Issa took up the ancient cursed Talisman of Fate, a powerful but treacherous magical artifact of the heroic age Seelie clan champions, and came upon Lord Own and his warband in the fogs and quicksands of the shadowy plains. Lord Issa, Lord Own, and their warbands fought for hours in confusion until most of their supporters were dead, and both Issa and Own were terribly wounded. At last, Issa took a mortal wound, and Own, thinking himself the victor, left Issa alone to die. But the gravely wounded Issa gave his page the Talisman of Fate and sent him after Own. Let's have that. Mysterious note. My Iwa is gone. Gone. Like a wave that breaks against the sea stones. There one instant and gone the next. She was a soldier, a brave soul. Now her bones rest where she fell in battle, but her spirit rests with me. I go now to join her, our souls ascending into the blue. Farewell. May the waves take me with them. Ilfred. So, suicide note, and he got very drunk and jumped off the cliff, I guess. That's melancholy. Oh, there's an object there. Someone's dead body. Oh, aye. That'll be probably the corpse of the... Oh no, okay, maybe not. Let's have them and break them down for parts. Although, how much space have I got left in my inventory? Not a huge amount. I should probably sell some stuff. I've got this place discovered now, so I can come back to it fairly easily.
Good day.
And where are we? There's a forge back here. Oh, someone's resupplied all the crates for me to break. Hey, Master Frosted Fulcrum and Curved Silver Knight Blades. Nice. Don't think I care about breaking down the rest, so... I'll just sell that stuff.
welcome to a mare.
Is he the one with the
Hello again.
shop?
How are you enjoying your visit?
Sell junk. Right, I should probably put them in my oh yeah, saw that. And that. That might be worth keeping in case I have a really important attempt to make and I remembered to save before the conversation, which I realise is a fairly long odds series of instances, but oh well. Huh. Why did I have those? I should probably put them in my stash.
We'll be here if you need us.
Since my blacksmithing... The potion I took of blacksmithing would have worn off by now. Long worn off. I think it was only just still active at the beginning of the stream, and that was nearly 2 hours ago. And they certainly don't last that long, the potion buffs. But I've got plenty of space for now, so I don't think that I need to worry very much. What the? There was definitely an arrow just before, floating around. Ooh, hidden door. Hidden door. Lost scrolls. Okay. This door is opened by unusual means. It cannot be opened with keys or lockpicks. Fair enough. Open hidden door. Ooh, fancy floating bricks. Like what from Harry Potter. No, they're all warded chests. Oh, hello. Ow, stop that! Eating all my mana. Where did you come from anyway? Why did it have 307? Well, no, it's more than that, isn't it? 370 plus 87. Oh, I'm not good at maths. It's more than 400 gold. Why would a Barghest have more than 400 gold on it? Dalston's notes. These scribbled notes belonged to the famous historian Dalston and are a partial account of the only battle ever waged between the summer and winter courts of the Fae. Thereafter, Lord Issa ruled for many years in peace in Dalantarth until the Fae groups of Eastern Cluricon, organised under the great warlord Own, raided Erethel and then attacked Dalantarth. Lord Own despised the Seelie Fae and named himself and his followers the Unseelie Fae. All the magical energies of the Fae were directed to this single, desperate undertaking of total war, neglecting the land and its bounty, and laying waste to fields and forests. For the first time, the entire Fae race faced misery and starvation, and thus this was called the Withering War. The more warlike Fae of the East defeated the weaker, peace-loving Fae of the West in every encounter until Lord Issa lured the Fae armies of Lord Own into the plains. Let's have them. They're part of a quest. I still intend to come back once my once my dispelling is at max and try and open as many of the warded chests as I can, but until then I'm not going to bother trying because my abilities with the QuickTime events are not good. want every advantage I can in order to Sacred Tract. Feyblade's a Bloodthirst. Oh, there we go. Cavalier's Greaves, into junk. So, save scum, warded chests. I guess I could, but I wouldn't want to do that on stream, because that would be probably fairly tedious. Sacred Tract. This religious text taken from a kobold seems somewhat the worse for wear. Read. And so Vekreth, god of scorn, stole into the glade. From behind a tree he beheld Aurelia, goddess of love and beauty in all her splendour. From that day he took ill, pining for her. This foolish phase will fade away, Belen said, and all things do. You must conquer this weakness, said Therodon. Or is it Tyrannodon? All is struggle and victory, but Aurelia had seen Vekreth in the glade, though he did not know it. He had not known it. Long had his disdainful distance filled her heart with painful longing. Now she had cracked his shell, so she spoke to Lupoku, and Lupoku whispered into Mitharu's ear, telling him the seven singing bells had fallen out of harmony. Mitharu, ever thick-witted, set out on the 4-day journey to visit every bell. Unwatched, Aurelia crept off to Vekreth, and there they unveiled to each other their holy, numinous ineffabilities. And so they were wed. Oh yeah, is that what they showed off to one another? Love and hate are married to this day, and the fools who cling to Mitharu's name rage at the holy union to this day, for truly they're sealed shut and their hearts are cold as stones. Interesting. I don't know why that was a quest objective. What was it a quest objective for? Pilgrim's scrolls were stolen by a pack of kobolds en route to the Mulrain ruins. The owner will pay for the return of all the lost scrolls. Ah, that's the quest. Okay. God of hate and disdain spying on the goddess of beauty to end that way. That's not usually how it goes. Another sacred tract, nice. Oh, and a third. Excellent. There was a hidden... Ah, right. Pile of rocks. Oh, both of them in junk, I think. Probably want to go this way first. Why is Arian Raff hanging out here? I wonder why I can't read them individually, or do they all say the same thing? That's a bit weird. Ah, what a surprise. Chest.
That does not seem so strange. I'm sure there are many people who in their youth had a similar experience, but of course I am leaving something out. I mentioned the unrest in my soul. I know it intimately. When I was young, I was visited by something unlike anything else of this world. It was an ephemeral, ghostly thing. I called it a divine spirit, for I had no better word to describe it. This thing was not fey, but possessed a timelessness like one. It glowed with an aura of magic about it, but I was not afraid, for a serene peace was born on the countenance of this divine spirit.
Alright, tract is used for mass-produced texts given away to promote a religion. I always wondered how kobolds get into these places, since they seem like they've been magically sealed for years. Yeah, that is odd. So it makes sense that there would be a bunch of tracts and they're all the same. Okay, fair enough. I thought maybe that they were like individual pieces of a story, but if they're all supposed to be exactly the same, then fair enough. But yeah, but particularly, I mean, this sort of door, it seems fair enough that they'd be able to get through fairly easily, but the ones that are like made up of glowing sigils and floaty stones, they seem like they don't go back together easily. I wonder what this dude's up to. This is going to be another situation like what I found... Oh, geez, where was it? Oh, it's not Aldoth, was it? Where was it? It wasn't the Wolds. Maybe it was out. No, that can't be right. No. Was it Coilsbane? Was it in the depths of Coilsbane after going in there? Yes, it was. There was a wizard trying to raise loads and loads of fair Gorta and bind them to his will. Hang out in Coilsbane. Oops. Is this going to be another situation like that? I mean, I'll talk to him after I've dealt with the other things, I think. I expect that going in, or probably going near to him, will trigger a conversation cutscene. Yeah, this sort of door. This seems like the sort of door that... Oops, how did I manage that? That stays closed, and then once you open it, it stays open. Oh, Barghest's beyond. The thing about Barghests is they have a tendency to get up and start moving around. So this one might... No? Okay, there we go. Stab. Then a skeleton. Who had a scepter and some gold. Nice. So, this and this over here appear to be fairly fresh Barghest kills. So kobolds, with the fact that they can use tools and, you know, have clothes and weapons and stuff, if not necessarily a language that we can understand, probably could work the mechanisms of a door, no matter what the mechanism of this door actually is. Seems like kobolds could manage. Barghests opening and closing doors. That seems a little difficult to believe for me. Like, why would they bother to close the doors if they can get them open? Like, dogs and even cats can learn to open doors and things, but unless they're trained to and told to, they don't tend to bother closing doors, as far as I've been able to observe. Not that I've really put much time into researching cats and dogs closing doors. Dang it. Turned around just as I was approaching. What a bugger. No, fucking... Look that way. That's better. How's the other one moving? Didn't quite manage it. Annoying. Perhaps the idea is there are small gaps they crawled through in the walls or ceiling. I mean, with the kobolds, yeah, I guess so. This door is opened by unusual means. It cannot be opened with keys or lockpicks. Okay, so why? Like, all it's doing is a... Well, I suppose all it is a shortcut to the exit, so maybe it'll open once I'm done dealing with whatever else is in here. I guess the kobolds crept in, but it doesn't seem like there are gaps in the walls big enough for bar guests. Oh hey, there's a balcony, or I suppose it would be a mezzanine layer, wouldn't it? Mezzanine level. Hello, what are you up to?
Hello there. Hello there. Out enjoying a walk in the ruins? You'd better keep your blade nearby.
Don't worry, I do. I keep 4 nearby. 2 of which are big circles. Or I suppose it depends how you count the Fey blades. Are they... Is one Fey blade 2 blades, or is it, as a whole, 1 Fey blade?
Of course. The Cradle, an incredible setting, so rich in its magical history. I was there months ago searching for artifacts, but only came across a few random wand components and a reagent or 2. Nothing fantastic, but definitely worth the trip. I am a student of the world, my friend. The world. One cannot learn what he wishes to know from books and recipes. No, he must search the countryside for answers. Look around you. This ruin holds knowledge so deep that no one man will glean it. But that will not keep Arion Raff from trying. Ha!
Look around you. Look around you. For those who don't know, Look Around You is a spoof comedy show series that is spoofing 70s and 80s, well, maybe 60s and 70s instructional videos that people would show in public school in Britain. And Look Around You is a... Yeah, the first season is much more of a spoof. In the second season, they have like presenters and a location, like a set location. Like the feel of the show is a little different. One of my favorite sketches from Look Around You is birds. Birds. What are they? We just don't know.
I am a student of... Look around you. An incredible region. One that begs to be studied. Where else can one truly get a sense of the withering war and its dramatic effects on our world? It is Endlessly fascinating. We have nothing like it in all our long histories. The Fae are singular in their abhorrence of warfare. It's what makes them unique. Goodbye, then.
Oh, apparently he's done. Oh, right, no, not quite. He's going back to shooting lightning at nothing while standing in a glowy circle. Okay, I mean, listen. If I had a mystic glowing circle and the ability to shoot lightning from my hands, I would spend a non-zero quantity of time standing in that mystical glowing circle shooting lightning from my hands. I can understand. I can understand the draw. Especially clothed in high fantasy
welcome
robes like that. Like, maybe those aren't quite my style, but I have for a long time wanted clothes with pauldrons. Just because pauldrons are great. He turned around before recognizing that I was a threat. That's fucking wild. The eye had almost completely filled up. Is the quest not complete? Is that not all of them? I thought I had 5 now. Oops, no. Yeah, I've got 5 sacred tracts. That's weird. Wonder why it hasn't updated to show that I've got all of them. Nah.
You may think I'm lying, but unfortunately I'm telling the truth as I saw it then anyway. This thing was a fleeting companion, but a companion nonetheless. Do you hear? It's the earthly moans of time. Listless motes of cavern dust, the crumbled ruin beneath our feet. All the ordained path of the blessed. You have found their way, their home, their solace. You're near them. No, I was wrong.
Now I got no idea what prerequisites that door has for being opened. It might be opening all of the warded chests in here, I guess. But I can't find any other mechanisms that might be responsible. Anyway, what else have we got? Oh yeah, we've got a quest to go in to the Cradle of Summer. And I don't think that there's much to do in the Cradle of Summer besides talk to the general. Brownies laugh like they sound like Beavis and Butthead. Just realised. Oh, dang it, he got me. Alright, that's enough of that. I can't really do a very good impression of Beavis and Butthead, but the little noises reminded me very heavily of Beavis and Butthead. Stay asleep, bit. Oh, come on. trying to save you, you stupid creature. You don't want none of this. Ooh. More Edelweiss. That's good stuff, that is. No reagents found. That's a shame. Ack. One of the Martians from Mars Attacks. Yeah, maybe. A little bit like that as well.
From the naked dirt sprang the Majestics, the firstborn of the wilds of Ashara. Around them, they heard the song of splendor of a once and future summer. And they responded. And the earth moved. The carver shaped, the architect built, and the shaper composed.
Nice. Lots and lots of ingredients here. Which is not a surprise. I mean, we've been told by a character in the game that this is a ingredient-rich area, and we're just by a place called the Cradle of Summer. Someone mentioned that Emir was the birthplace of modern the alchemy trainer, whose name I can't remember. The birthplace of modern alchemy, so it's not really any surprise at all. But there's lots and lots of alchemy ingredients here. Ooh, that's a spider. Hello, spider. Aha, Lawstone.
Departing their home beyond the veil, the firstborn were torn asunder, with a cry that still lingers in the heart of every god tree and mountain. Then emptiness, followed by a darkening sky, and the frost wept with the first winter.
Wolves. Oh, just wolves. Okay.
The Shaper bequeathed her music to the countryside of marbled ruin. The plains birthed the gentle grass. Listless streams meandered through the verdant hills and babbled of their gentle travel to the face of the windswept cliffs. Thus the symphony of Arethel began.
It's a bit difficult to tell because the water in the game doesn't really behave the same way that water does in real life, but there is supposed to be a big beautiful pool down there. It just looks a bit sort of there, really. Looks a bit like oddly coloured sand, really. Rather than water. Oh, giant rats. Like, this looks pretty good for water-slicked rocks, and, well, it's not great as a waterfall effect, but it's not terrible either. You can tell that it's supposed to be a waterfall, basically, but this, it looks a bit like sort of clear quicksilver. Doesn't really look like water at all. I mean, that looks a bit more like a river, a bit, but it doesn't, like the ripples don't flow correctly. I guess super accurate water effects were probably pretty low on the list of priorities. And might actually be a problem baked into the engine rather than something you can do with adjusting the graphics afterwards. But like, particularly here, the riverbed here, maybe a surface like this would be covered with moss or something. Nuts, little bugger. That's a jump point. I'll come out somewhere in there and jump down at some point, I fully expect. Although it's not marked on the map as a jump point, that's a bit odd. Oh, maybe I can go around here. Oh no. It's blocked off from this side. Ah, but there's an entrance to something up here. Their faces are a little horrid, aren't they? Don't really look like rats. Or any kind of rodent, really. Rats are... Personally, I think rats are rather cute. Looks muddy from a distance. Yeah, the water does look kind of muddy, doesn't it? Greater strengthening grip. Yeah.
Look to these open plains, nestled where mire and rocky deserts cease, where the hungry forests end. In the bosom of the Feylands, these fields are home to the languid sky. This work, shaped by the delicate artistry of an inspired painter, is for all the peoples of all lands.
Oh, this is... Oh, sill. Okay, cool. So I'll go in here and come out here, I fully expect. I think I'll probably get... Yeah, it does look kind of muddy. It looks kind of opaque, the water. But then when you get close, it's not. It's crystal clear, if a little bit sort of ripply. Deep slumber. Ah. Lots of Fae sitting around chilling here. Lord Calor.
Are you one of the intruders? One of the children of the dust? What else can we possibly give you that you haven't already taken? The Cradle of Summer is not a flower for the plucking. For many seasons, We have protected this sacred space from the darkening influence of the mortal world. For it is here where we Summer Fae first set foot in Amalur. But with the rise of the Tuatha, the magical barriers protecting the Cradle of Summer have weakened. If this continues, nothing is safe from the blight of winter. I am Kala, guardian of the Cradle. Terenier and I safeguard what has never needed protecting, until now. With our weakening magic, the Fae must tend to our own. Mortals, children of the dust. Those who seek only to steal the treasures of the land from which we sprung, to end the deep slumber. Mortals like you who seek to bend nature to their will, to make it bow before them as a servant, not embrace it as a guide and mother. Mortals, thieves, liars, and weaklings. They have stolen items of great power. They have stolen the 3 staffs. They are Rivener Tarsus, Gloamfrost, and Ender's Fire. 3 incredible weapons forged to end a war that was threatening to engulf your mortal world. Such prizes, such items of power and importance cannot be kept in the open, and so they were hidden here. That is, until the intruders took them.
Now, the game, through him, tells us that these items are of incredible power, forged to end a war. But I can guarantee that when I actually get them, they'll probably be green or blue quality, and they won't be very impressive.
A child of the dust wishes to help the cycle. Where there is no precedent. If you truly wish to assist those of us in the deep slumber, you are welcome to. The 3 staffs were stolen from Sill Hollow and destroyed by the thieves who did not comprehend their power or their value. I heard their dying screams. The pieces must be recovered and the staffs must be reforged. If you can do this, you are more worthy of the Cradle than I could imagine. But likely, you will not.
Okay, so what they'll be like when I'm done forging them will depend on me. Okay, fair enough. Still, I won't be able to forge them into very powerful weapons at this point.
It is the most powerful form of Fey revelry. A connection between our people and our birthplace of Ashara, the realm from which all magic is born. We in the Cradle of Summer slumber to protect this sacred place. We draw energy from our homeland and use it to maintain the barriers that keep out the beasts and men. They were wielded during the long twilight of the Withering War. Those 3 weapons uprooted mountains and left the lush plain forsaken. They are the lightning, the fire, and the ice.
Yes, I thought they were.
They are precious. And while their magic has weakened in these fell lands, they are still cherished and must be returned.
Okay, so that's the game also telling us that they probably won't be as powerful as they are already being described. Like, they probably won't be... Don't expect them to be raising mountains and
It is
things.
for those answers that I seek the wisdom of the slumber. For it is in its reverie where I will learn the whereabouts of these thieves, Raff, Purta, and Hagni. May your gods be with you.
So... I need to go into Sill, I think. Don't I? Oh, staff pieces. Are all the staff pieces just here in the same place? That's odd. Base items used are unique, but not exactly top tier. Yeah. That's what I was expecting. Oh, I was confused. Lilia Janik is a different person from General Talera. I got confused. I thought that the person, Lilia Janik, who is the sister of the alchemy trainer here in Emir, was the same person as Talera, because I'm dreadful at names and I've only heard their names a couple of times each. And also, so far, I've only heard their names. I don't have faces or, well, I don't have appearances to put to those names, really. Wow, that's really bright, blowing out the screen there. Wonder why. Ooh, there's a hidden door up here. Hidden door. Sinks into the ground. Nice. Ah, pile of rocks there. Skillbook Alchemy. Nice. Let's use that. In my many years of study, I have found that the natural ingredients used in the practice of alchemy can as easily be categorized by their method of combination as their essences. However, the task is not to be taken lightly. One wayward pinch of cripple spore is enough to leave even the heartiest Jotun weak for days. For this reason, I am writing this book, so that future alchemists, apothecaries, healers, and herbalists succeed in practicing this dangerous and mysterious art. Whereas a complete and exhaustive list of recipes and reagents may be of interest to the novice, I instead will provide a more valuable knowledge, the manner in which the potions, elixirs, tonics, restoratives, physics, and all other alchemical products are constructed. At first, this may seem elementary. The information can be divined by even the most inexperienced alchemist. However, there is a great lack of understanding by most practitioners of alchemy at what exactly occurs during the process of creating a vial of magical liquid. Here, in abbreviated form, is that process. First, the alchemist needs to prepare tools, and the most vital of these can be found in the alchemy workbench. This space and the accompanying equipment is necessary for even the most minor of alchemical procedures. Fortunately, workbenches can be found throughout Amalur in almost every town and village. Secondly, and just as crucial, the alchemist needs the reagents themselves. Reagent gathering is a skill and craft unto itself, and many a brave soul has focused on nothing but the harvesting of alchemical reagents from the plants of the Phalanx. The greatest concentration of variety of these plants can be found in the Cradle of Summer in the plains of Erethdal. However, the diverse flora of Delantarth often yields a bountiful variety, and the deserts of Detir can hide a cornucopia of minerals and flowers. There are a great number of reagents indeed, too many to list here. However, one commonly accepted principle is that every reagent worth harvesting carries within itself a prime essence. Take, for example, the sativa stalk. This tough, ubiquitous weed can be found throughout the Phalanx, in the most extreme climates and conditions. It is required in many potions that involve affecting the corporeal aspects of the imbiber, and clearly is imbued with an essence of a physical nature. It is easily surmised that the harvested fibers of this weed possess an essence relating to the physical world. Finally, the alchemist must possess the unique recipe, the appropriate experience required to handle the delicate and intricate nature of combining reagents. There are countless methods for mixing potions: boiling, mashing, sticking them in the stew, calcination, sublimation, smoking, distillation, dilution, absorption twice, ceration, chromatography, congliation, and so forth. The brave may even experiment without a recipe. However, it is a dangerous risk and is strongly discouraged except in cases of emergency. While this is by no means the entire body of knowledge of alchemical method, it is a solid foundation. Armed with this knowledge, you are now able to perform rudimentary alchemy. Only through your own dedication will you progress in this field. Good luck, and may your potions always taste delicious. Nice. Fire and ice ones fully suck. Of the staffs, I assume. Fair enough. I don't need these now that I've read them. That stuff was nicely written, though. That was really interesting and fun. I did stumble a little bit. Loot grave. Ah. Katasti's helm. Let's have that. Ooh. Requires might, so it's a plate helm, and it does 120 defense, as compared with my 92. So that's quite a lot. This looks like... Those look like elf ears. I thought at first that those were built-in elf ear protectors, but no, I think it's just a stylized thing. I don't think that elves are expected to tuck their ears in there. It was absorption and adsorption. Okay. Adsorption. I guess I misread that. I'm losing 20% armor and health and mana regen, but gaining lots of armor, elemental resistance, 30 health, and if I've got any more pieces of this, I'll also gain... Well, I mean, that would be a full plate set, but I could get gloves and boots for Casti's armor. This helm belongs to a mystical female warrior with an uncanny mastery over the elements. Ah, so would Casti's cuirass, which fits over the chest, be made for female warriors, women? In fairness, adsorption isn't a word people use very often. Yeah, it's not one that I've heard before. Ooh. Plus 10% damage resistance, plus 10% damage, plus 10% status effect durations, plus 1 to might and finesse and sorcery abilities. Wow. That is a pretty fancy piece of kit if I can get all 5 pieces. That was quite a long jump, wasn't it? The app's telling me it's reconnecting to the chat. Oh, it's reconnected. Okay, so if Marhawkman, you'd said anything in the last few minutes and I appeared to ignore it, I just was not able to see. I want to explore the rest of the region before I go and talk to the general. Particularly finding the other quest objective, the robber, or is it bandit, or I don't remember. Ugh, rolled right into that. Weird texture on there, isn't it? Two skulls. Ooh, Thief's Cunning. I don't think that I really need that very much though. What do Stalker's Feyblades do? Nothing particularly special. Alright. Oh, he's got a Silver Knight sword. It's presumably the corpse of one of Talera's followers. Couldn't hear what I was saying, the rats were shrieking. Okay, fair enough. I was saying, if I appeared to be ignoring you, I apologise. The app had disconnected. And, I'd only just reconnected. Adsorption is the process of making a gas or liquid solidify on a solid object. Ah, okay. Interesting. Oh, I just discovered a location. Shardfall. Also interesting. I assume I'll have a quest objective in here as well. To be honest, with those staffs that I need to reforge, I'm probably going to skimp on the components, recreating them, because I would never use them, and the components would be useful to me in other forms. So, like, if the Fae want the staffs to be better, they can reforge them after I give them back. I think this is the guy with
about time.
The gemstone, the Eye of Amalur or something.
Thank the gods. Someone's come for me at last. Yes, I am the scoundrel you're looking for. Yes, I stabbed my partner in the back. Do with me what you like. Just please, please take the amulet. It's yours. It's terrible. Fire, ice, lightning. You will see. Yes, and I am a thief. Never had a spot of good luck. But taking what belongs to others doesn't make me a bad man, just a weak one.
Kinda does make you a bad man.
I've trekked here for several days and nights in search of Sill Hollow, but I've yet to find it. I can't say I'm comfortable here. Too many Fae, too much magic.
I just walked past Sill Hollow like 10 minutes ago. It's not that difficult to find.
Edwin. He was my partner, and a good one. But soon as I saw the amulet, I had to have it. Stabbed Edwin, took the goods. You can say I paid for my treachery. It is ancient, they say, as old as the Cradle of Summer itself. Armand the Clever calls it his home, even though no one has reported seeing Armand for centuries. He lives in Amalur, pompous blowhard going on about his artifact collection to any who would listen. Name's Immundus, Wayne Immundus.
Yeah, and I don't feel terribly sorry for him because he's a knob.
I'll tell you why. This Fey trinket belonged to Armand the Clever, and it's cursed. Like most, I considered it an old traveler's story. Well, now I'm a believer. It's real. I have the scars to prove it. Your only hope is to give it away, or to travel to Armand's Hollow, in hopes you can remove the curse, which is why I'm here. Please, take the amulet. I am so weak. I cannot withstand its influence. If I possess it any longer, I will surely die. Perhaps the most treacherous and playful Fey ever to walk the green lands of the Summer Court. Evidence of his trickery can be found all over the Feylands. Armand's Hollow of Sill is not far, right here in the Cradle of Summer. That's where I'm headed now. It is my salvation. Legend says that Armand crafted it by combining lightning, fire, and frost, an arcane trick he stole from the Scholia Arcana. All I know is what I've seen. Once that amulet is in your possession, it will torture you. Only the strongest can withstand its punishment. Only one such as you. What a relief. You have no idea how long I've been trying to abandon that damn thing. In order to be rid of its curse, you must take the amulet to Armand's Hollow of Sill and cleanse it. Armand wishes to make you enter his lair and face its many dangers. But once you've done that, the amulet is yours to keep. If you ask me, it's a high price to pay for a rather dull trinket. Good luck.
And now I'm probably cursed. Each time you strike an enemy, there's a chance a bolt of lightning will strike you, even out of a clear blue sky. Okay, I thought that it was going to increase my, or decrease my resistance, or increase my vulnerability to elements, but no, this is more unique and interesting. Each time you strike an enemy, there's a chance you'll be gripped by a layer of frost. Strike an enemy, spontaneously burst into flame. So I had better hope I don't meet any enemies before I've done dealing with this amulet, I guess. Well, it's not difficult to get over there, is it? Just... And hopefully, when I get in there, I won't find too many things to attack me. Boggarts. Wolves. That's annoying. I'm going to have to go the long way around. And take lots of damage as I fight my way through. Oh well. Wonder whose body that is. Some poor bugger. I might as well clear this, since I would have to come back, loop back around after completing the area if I didn't. Damn, I meant to check what that did. Signet of Morning, 10% damage during daytime. Okay, fair enough. That sounds an awful lot like a monkey call. But we don't ever see any primates in the game. Other than humans, I suppose. Oh well, it looked it up. The eye of a man does damage based on your weapon damage to you. That's a lot of damage. Luckily, I have more health and armor than my weapons do damage, I guess. Luckily, it doesn't also do poison damage. Oh, those are bitey plants. I don't want to get too close to them. What do you do? Bleeding resistance. I don't think I care about that very much. I don't really run across things that do bleeding damage very often. Ooh. Everything is looking quite even. can almost get... Oh no, not quite. Still a few levels. Yeah, reconnecting to chat. Cool, thanks for that. That's not much use either. Nothing under the jump point. Oh well. Oh, Christ. Bog thresh, and I'm stuck in here with it and it knows I'm here. Fucking... Those curse effects didn't seem to be applying very often, which is nice. When you place the eye of a man into the altar, its glow brightens and then goes out. I wonder whether that blowhard idiot will claim that this is not the eye of a man after I bring it back to him. Because it's no longer shiny and glowing. Oh, I haven't discovered Ural Tusk yet, so I'll do that and then I'll travel to Mir. Luckily, I'm no longer cursed either.
The summer begins here, O mortals. And when the final winter leaves its chill breath on the stones of your fathers and mothers, you will witness the end of days. And it will happen here, where it began, a peaceful death in the cradle.
Hurrah, found Ural Tusk. I'll come back and talk to you in a bit. Just now, what I want to do is fast travel.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Where's the hand? No, I don't want to do that. I want to... Amulet. Amulet. Oh, staff pieces are here. Weird. So I could talk to this guy. But he's not the original owner. Well, I would say original. And he did steal it, even if the dude he stole it from is a knob.
What is this? What news do you bring me? My stolen amulet, stripped of its pesky curse. Beautiful, isn't it? Now that it won't kill you, that is. Hand it over.
I mean...
I can offer you riches, my friend. Gold. And what is better than that? Anything your heart desires in this world can be purchased.
Not anything.
Ah, justice. Yes, I believe you will go far in our world, ragged and raging as it is. As for those two knaves, I suspect they will meet with a gallows soon enough. Goodbye.
How lovely of you. Let's see if I can also talk to the other guy. Just to let him know that it's over.
Hello again. It's you. I've got the feeling you pocketed that amulet for yourself, friend. Fine move, very crafty. But bad acts catch up to folks. I'm a perfect example.
I didn't. I gave it back to the person you stole it from. So I guess bad acts catch up to folks.
Bye.
Is fine. It won't affect me. Ah, yes. Staff piece. Let's get that whilst we're here. Almost at the end of the stream. But we still have a few things to do. Well, but there are a few things we can do quickly before the end. I mean... it's just on the wall. Let's have Godfang back. Don't know why someone decided to nab it and put it up on the wall. Yeah, let's run around to that.
Yes?
He's still bleeding. It's amazing he hasn't died. Oh wow, Lian Dang it, stop that! You two, stop hocking rubies over, you horrible things. Night Signet will just give me a small amount of health, so I'm not very interested in that either. Who's this? Why do they have a staff piece?
You're in my path, stranger. I ask that you step aside before I cast you off the cliffs.
First of all, no I'm not. You're walking away from me. Second of all, I'd like to see you try.
I hold it as dear as any fae. But my time had come. However, I took a piece of the cradle with me. A part of a weapon I was meant to protect. I'd earned that right.
I don't think you did.
Can't you feel it? Ever since the Withering War, this stretch of earth has been enchanted. Some prefer to call it cursed, but I see all of this magic as a blessing. I walk the broken hills and ravines, searching for the answers to this question. What lies across the sea? Who is calling me with her fiery breath and knowing whisper?
That's ominous.
I was once part of the deep slumber, but wished to depart the dreaming to pursue something that is more familiar to mortals like you. Ambition. For seasons, I dwelled in the Cradle of Summer, as is my role in the telling. But something called to me from beyond the sea. A whisper of power and corruption. I fought our Winter Court enemies right here on this soil. But it was all in vain. The seasons pass as they always have, and always will. There is no ending the winter. That's laughable. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And I don't like the looks of you.
I would say the same for you.
I'm plagued by visions of what your kind call the future. A telling beyond the present. It is all because of this new god. She clouds my thoughts, confuses me. Mortals are fond of tricks, and tricks I will not stand. This is my time. The whispers tell me so.
Dang.
How many times must I tell you to depart? You do not wish to feel my wrath, mortal.
I could say the same the other way around.
Go on.
I'll just pickpocket it from you. After you stop being aware of me. Alright, you can continue being a weirdo, listening to the false promises of a false god. Where's the last piece? Why is it in there? Oh yeah, I've also got to talk to these people, haven't I? Well, that will have to wait for next time, because we are slightly over time now. And this is the end of today's stream. I'm just gonna run back, so I'm hanging out somewhere relatively safe. And then I will call it the end. I'll probably do like some selling of stuff between streams, I guess. But we'll pick up from here next time, and I will journey around doing things. I need to pick up this quest, talk to General Talera, find the staff piece, talk to these guys, well, deal with Tuatha spies here. And I'll probably pick up the whatever is in the pile of rocks and run through here as well, just so I've got it explored. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've had a good time, and I hope you come back.
Keep
I
your
hope
eyes on your possessions.
enjoyed things enough to want to return, and I hope I see you again. Goodbye.